Hello, I would like to introduce the book Going Infinity by Michael Lewis. The person I chose for the subject of this book is Sam Bankman-Fried, a man who was arrested in 2022 after he built up enormous wealth by launching the crypto asset exchange FTX. Michael Lewis is a master of nonfiction, taking a complex subject and turning it into a brilliantly coherent story. However, FTX went bankrupt during the course of the research for this book. Sam was subsequently convicted of 7 counts of fraud and money laundering in connection with the FTX bankruptcy and sentenced to 25 years in prison and forfeiture of $11 billion in assets. It's impossible to spin a brilliant story with this, since he started the story as the darling of the times and ended up a criminal after a year or two. Nevertheless, Sam is an interesting individual. He had few friends by the time he was 18, and no matter how much money he made and how much everyone coveted him, he would play video games and talk to people on the fly when he talked to them. FTX and his other company, Alameda Research, despite making billions of dollars in profits, had no order, had amateurs who had never worked in the business do all kinds of jobs, including public relations, had all kinds of titles, had no organizational chart. And when the post-bankruptcy investigation came, no one knew how many employees they had. Even after the bankruptcy investigation, no one knew how many employees he had, although he is generally regarded as a crook who spent tremendous amounts of money for personal gain. He was also a self-proclaimed effective altruist who donated much of the money he earned and tried to make enormous amounts of money to increase the overall well-being of humanity. Reading this book, it is hard to believe that Sam is a selfish, nefarious person, but it is also hard to believe that he is a good person. I don't know how serious he is about effective altruism. And some people criticize his eccentric episodes straight away, saying that they are the imitation of a genius conceived by an idiotic ordinary person. What the hell was he thinking? This is a book that conveys Michael Lewis's confusion. However, such perplexity seems to reveal the man Sam Bankman-Fried and the FTX, and this book, which describes the process as it is outstandingly interesting. First, let's touch on who Sam is. In a nutshell, he is the aforementioned eccentric, and as of 2021, when our interview began, venture capitalists had invested hundreds of millions of dollars in him. And he was expected by investors to be the first man in U.S. history to have assets in the trillion-dollar range. The speed of FTX's earnings has been growing at a frightening rate, reaching $20 million in 2019, $100 million in the following 20 years, and $1 billion in 2021. But when Michael Lewis turned to Sam and asked him how much he would be happy to sell FTX for something else, his first answer was $150 billion, adding that even an infinite number of dollars could be spent on that. What would you spend an unlimited amount of money on? Speaking of which, it has to do with his philosophy of effective altruism. This is the idea of maximizing efficiency and impact for the betterment of human society. We contribute to humanity by making more money and donating it where it is needed and most efficiently applied. It is also necessary to destroy clear injustices like hunger and disease, and to counter threats we have yet to see, such as the risk of meteorite impact or the collapse of the world due to AI. In that way, no amount of money is enough. Sam first got a job at Jane Street, a major trading firm, and spent much of his salary there on donations, but he soon realized that he could make more money by dealing in crypto assets, so he decided to start his own company, recruiting mainly effective altruists. He would go on to found the crypto asset trading company Alameda Research in 2017. FTX is the company Sam launched in 2019 after Alameda Research. Since he couldn't quite keep up with the amount of money, his goal of making money to donate through regular trading, the next step he used was to open his own crypto asset exchange. FTX has several features as a crypto asset exchange. And when tokens called FTTs were listed on FTX and released to the public, the value of the tokens quickly increased dozens of times to generate huge amounts of money. Within 2 years of its launch, it had more than 1 million users at its peak in 2021, making it the world's third largest crypto asset exchange in terms of trading volume. The question is, if it was so exciting, why did it go bankrupt? In the end, it can be said that a common mounting frenzy was the cause. On November 2nd, 2022, there were reports questioning the financial health of FTX's sister company, Alameda Research. And then the CEO of rival crypto exchange Binance tweeted that FTX's assets would be liquidated. At the time, FTX had $15 billion in customer funds, but more than $5 billion was drained in a week from the beginning of November following the report, with no cash in existence to withstand the swelling customer demands. FTX went bankrupt. Sam was ultimately charged with fraud for several reasons, one of which was that he had loaned $8.8 billion, or about half of the $15 billion collected from his 1 million customers, to Alameda, where he first established the company, and FTX did not have many actual assets. Sam's argument for the flow of FTX's assets to Alameda is that when FTX first opened for business, it was not allowed to open a U.S. bank account because the company was associated with crypto assets and had no direct means to accept deposits or withdrawals in dollars until the end of 2009. Therefore, the deposited dollars were placed in Alameda, where they had an account and were left untouched. In other cases, Alameda was allowed exceptionally unlimited losses in order to increase the liquidity of trades within FTX, which led to huge losses, etc. Alameda and FTX were effectively operated almost like one company. What is puzzling about this case is that FTX and Alameda should have been able to settle their relationship and avoid bankruptcy at any cost before the mounting racket eventually broke out. Since FTX was able to open an account in the U.S. at the end of 2009, it is said that with Alameda's credit at that point, it could have used $20 billion in loans from crypto asset finance institutions. If such steps had been taken at an early stage, FTX would not have been left behind in the wake of Alameda's bankruptcy. The reality of Sam and FTX that emerges from this book is that they handled a tremendous amount of money and went bankrupt because no one had a clue about the details. They didn't even know where and how much of the company's assets were. So much so that it took them quite some time to get the full picture, even after filing for bankruptcy. Even for such a small group of people, they were one step closer to making their grand dreams of donating $300 million in 2010 and $1 billion in 2011 a reality a few weeks before the bankruptcy. They were also examining where to make the donations and how to most efficiently make that selection. However, it was not possible to implement it. See you in the next video.